welcome to my program. This is Deritzystitch Fashion School, and today's episode is episode 6. We're going to be sewing the skirt that we cut in the other episode. And you remember this? Cutting a 3/4 straight skirt. That was what we did in the last episode. And today we're going to sew it. And this is the skirt. You remember this? Wow. You see, I have this feeling that this skirt is going to turn out so lovely, and I'm so super excited. Each time I'm going to finish up a dress, that's how I feel like. I cannot wait. Let's go. We're going to start by weaving the lining and the skirts all over, everywhere except the waist area, since we're going to be covering it with a band. So we're going to weave everything. So as you can see, we're done weaving our skirts. You can see. So let's go to the other machine and join them together. Now this is the back skirts, the basket. Well, first of all, remember the 2.5 that we added because of the overlapping. We're going to mark it out. On that line, we're going to sew. So this is the waist area. So first of all, take note of where you're going to put your zip. Usually all my zip I use for skirts, I use 6 3/4. 6 3/4 inch. I'll mark it. Then I will take note of my 2.5, which I added when I was cutting out the skirts. I'll go all down, but I will stop where my overlapping actually started. Remember the knee length. The knee length of this skirt is actually 20 inch. So I'm going to mark to note the knee length. The knee length is 20 inch. I'm not going to get to the knee length when if I'm taking, I want to put the overlapping. I won't get to the knee length, so that should be able to work. So I will just step up by like 3 inch. That's where I'm going to stop sewing. That's 17 on the 17. So I'm going to just sew from the zip, where the zip stop. I will just take notes. You can see the line. From this point, this is the zip area open 6 3/4. Then I'm going to take this 2.5 down and stop above the knee. Her knee is actually 20 and this is 17. So I'm going to stop my stitch here. It depends on the person. The person can even want you to even stop above the knee like 4 inch. It depends on the person. But it's always decent to stop at this point, so you won't have a lot of exposure on your skirt. So I'm going to stitch the notch. And I go down. And I'll stop here too. Now, this is my zip area. This is my zip area. I'm going to actually, now, if you want to make a skirt, usually we add 2 inches for your zip area. But because of this overlapping, we decided to make it 2.5, make it 5 inch, So now I'm going to remove the excess. I will take note of from here to 10 inch because I'm going to cut off this excess so that when I'm fixing my zip, I'm left with just 2 inches. So I'm going to remove 1.5 from this 2.5. So I will have remaining 1 inch over here for the zip allowance. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to just remain 1 inch for my zip. So when I get to the 10 inch, I'm going to stop. This is a 10 inch. I'm stopping over here. Here. So I'm going to cut off these points. I'm cutting off this place because I no longer need it. I just need the zip allowance to be 1. And 1 plus 1, there are 2 of them. That is 2 inches. So I remove this. So I have my zip now over here. I have my zip. So we're going to go over the table so that you will see what I am going to do. I'm going to iron it out. Okay, this is the zip area. We are going to iron it out. We'll open the front. As you can see, this is the overlapping area. Look at this. This is the overlapping area. And this is the zip area. So you can see that this is the back of the dress. So I'm going to iron it. Iron it, making sure that I fold exactly the measurement I'm expecting, like this 2.5. You have to make sure that you get exactly 2.5. Now, when you are doing overlapping, look at this place. One side is folded into 2. The left hand side is folded into 2. You fold the 2.5. Why this one is not folded? This one is just single. going inside, that's lapping, it's lapping, overlapping this one. So you fold this one and then you make sure they are equal down here, 2.5, and take note of where you stop sewing. Now iron, follow the line and iron it very well. The same thing, the zip area, remember it's your 1 inch. Take note of your 1 inch. Make sure it's 1 inch and you are folding it. Iron it down. Now, I want you to take note of this inside again, what we are going to be doing here, the zip area. The zip is not going to overlap, it has to spread out. You have to open up the zip area. So what do we do? Now, since this one is going this way, look at how this one is going when we have turned it. It's going this way. What you're expected to do is you need to spread out the zip area. So you just put a cut here in one, in the left hand side. When you turn it, you just put a cut like this. Don't get to where you sewed it, so that it will spread out. It will spread out. This is how your zip is supposed to be. So you have to iron it. There are different methods that you can use to do your overlapping. You can decide to cut this until you get to the down where you actually stop your distance. Whichever one that you have decided to do, it's fine. You get it right that way. So now I have my zip spread out. Why this one is overlapped already? So this is it. You can see it. So we'll come back to this table. Let's go and fix the zip, and then I am going to trim this a little so that this zip area, this weaved area, will not be showing when the skirt opens. I'm going to tack it down a little, just little, and so that you won't see the weaved area any longer. So I'm tacking the overlapping area down a little just to hide the weaved area. Once you cross it by, let's say by 2 inches, you can just stop. Do the other side too. you have sewn it, down, take note of the measurement you now have here. Take note of the measurements that you have that is remaining. This is exactly 2 inch that is remaining. So what do? I'll make sure that this one, the left hand side is always overlapping it, the left hand side. So you make sure that this end is also 2 inches. This end. If not, if you don't take note of this, you will not have a skirt that is properly lapped, and then you'll be having a problem with your skirts. So pin it down so that it will shift. The measurement will shift. Now this is my opening here. This is where I actually stopped when I was stitching down from the zip area. I'm going to take note of these points. I'm going to take note of these points. I'll take note of these points. Now this is where I stop my stitch. No, from this point I will mark out 1 inch because I'm going to step down. I'll mark 1 inch. So you draw a line from this point to this point. So you see, I'm stepping down. So I'm going to stitch from here to this point, just to hold both of them together, and then they will overlap. So as you can see, I already stitched it down. So you see what we have here? You see what we have here? So I already stitched it down. So you have your overlapping. So let's go ahead to fix the zip. The zip, I'm going to use my invisible zip. I'm using the invisible zip. Your zip, your invisible zip is already fixed nicely. So now what do I do again? I have to mark my darts. There's a dart on the skirt, remember? So we're going to fix our darts. Now this is the center of this place. I'm going to take note of this place, and there's a sewing allowance over here. I'll take note of this because my dart's supposed to be in the middle of between this zip area and this place. So I'll take note what I have here. I have 11 quarter here, so I have to remove, just imagine this 1 inch off, because this is actually the seam allowance. So I'll just imagine it off. So I'll have my 10 quarter. So I'll now divide the 10 quarter into 2 to know the exact place my darts will be. So half of 10 quarter will give me 5/1/8, and this is it here. So I'm going to measure my darts. So usually darts for skirts is usually 5 inch. So you mark your 5 inch. It's constant for every adult, 5 inch. Then from here you measure again your 5/1/8. Join it in straight line. So make a T-junction. This is what I call T-junction. You must make T-junction is where 2 lines meet. And these 2 lines that meet will give you a T-junction, so that you'll be able to know the exact points where your distance, where you're going to stop, where you're going to peak. So I'll measure my 5/1/8 again here. Then 5 inches down. Five 1/8 again. Yeah. Make sure you get your T-junction, so you know the exact points. This is the exact point. This is the exact point here. So now that I've marked this, I will make a straight line to meet the up. So let's go ahead to change our presser foot and add the regular one. So now that I've added the regular one, now I'm going to put the darts on the skirt, and look at what I'm going to do. Look at the line I got. Just pick on the line here. This is the waistline. I'm going to sew 1/2 inch from the top. I'll sew 1/2 inch, and I'm coming down, I'll slant it like this to go in. So make sure you make a very good dart, so that you won't have something puffing out in front of your skirt. Same thing here. I'll pick it. So that's your dart here. You can see it. This is the back area. You can see it. So for now, let me go over to the front of the skirts. This is the back of the skirts. So this is the front of the skirts. What I'm going to do here is to fix the darts too, like I did on the back side. So for you to be able to actually mark your darts in front, you have to try folding your fabric into two so you get the middle of the front skirts. I have the middle here. This is the middle of the skirts. So I'm going to mark I earlier curved this front. It's going to be a little bit difficult for me because it's no longer straight. But you can do an imaginary line just to aid you. An imaginary line to aid you to get a straight line. So you'll be able to know the measurements of the waist area so that you get a straight darts. This could help you. So here I have 10 3/4, and this 10 3/4 I have here. I am going to remove 1 inch. I'm going to remove 1 inch for the seam allowance. So I will divide the remaining measurement into 2. If I have 9 3/4, that means I have to divide 9 3/4 into 2. It has to be 4 1/2. 4 1/2. 1 2 3. Now 3/4 is actually this. For 9 3/4 is this place. If I divide 9 into 2, I'm going to have 4 1/2, and this is it. Now I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 included to this 9. So that means I now have 1 2 3. I have 1/8 into 3 after I've gotten 4 1/2. So I will count 1 2 3. That's what I'm going to mark. So I'll put it there and I'll mark it. Make it straight. This is it here, this way. Mark it. Take it down. Now, this front, because I've earlier cut out 2 inches here, I'm not going to mark 5 inch. I'm not going to mark 5 inches. I will mark 3 1/2 because I've already cut out something from this up. So I'll just use 3 1/2. make sure you get your T-junction for your guidance. Now connect this waist side to this point. You can take notes the back like this, making it easier for you. Turn it the other side. So already gotten here. Mark your 3.5 again, the length. Get your T-junction, 4.5, 1, 2, 3. Connect. I'll fix my darts. Fix the other side too. And that's it. So I'll fix the darts of the front skirts. So now let's go over to the lining area. Go to the back lining. This is the back lining. So this is the waist area. This is the waist area, the upside. And this is the zip area. This side is the zip area. So we already have our just 2 inches for zip. The 2 inches we had. So I'm going to mark out 6 3/4 like I did in on the main skirt material. So I'm going to mark 6 3/4 and I'm going to mark my 1 inch. So this is where I'm going to sew down. Going to sew down. So you'll be marking your 1 inch as you're sewing as a beginner. just mark your 1 inch so that your lines will be straight. Mark. For me, I can just sew like that because on my machine, I told you I have lines already measured down for me to help me get it. Now, when you are sewing your fabric, just if you see that the up of your fabric is getting longer, like this, you can see this is getting longer. You have to turn it upside down to sew because it's actually the machine, the presser foot that is dragging the upside. So you need to turn it the other way around so that at the end of your seam, the material will be equal. Don't just keep sewing and then you want to cut it off. It can affect the shape of your fabric. And if you have gone a very long way, you can even lose so that they will just be equal. That's it. So let's do this before we go and iron so that you'll be able to get it. Here is your fabric, your lining. We need to put darts. Now this dart we're going to put here, since I've not closed down the zip, and here is also here, there's allowance here, there's allowance here. All I need to do is just measure them equally. If I measure it, I now divide into 2. So what do I have here? So I have 12 and a half. So half of 12 and a half inch, I will have 6/4. 6/4, measure my 5 inch. The same thing I did in the back of the main fabric. Then I'll measure. Now always put your tape around the zip area because that is where you have your straight line. You don't have a straight line here. The straight line is in the middle. If you measure from this side, you'll be making a lot of mistake because it won't be equal. Remember your T-junction so you get the points where the actual measurements. So I measure my 6/4 again here, over here. It has to be equal with the other one. Measure your 5 inch. Then my 6/4. Now you make your line. So let's sew it. The same 1/2 inch from the top. So we're done with the back lining. This is the front lining. We fold into two to put the darts. Remember what we did in front of that one. Try to make an imaginary line so that you get the accurate measurement of this. So take your measurements. Always put your tape from the middle. This is 11 and half. Remove one, and you have 10. You have 10 and half. You have 10 and half. Divided by 2 will give you 5/4. So we're actually measuring 5/4. And like we said, the front we marked 3 and half. Try to make your T-junction 5/4. Join your line. Let's try to trace the back one. Okay, on the other side. Quarter, 3 and half. So you join the line. So let's go about the table and iron it out. So we'll come back again. So this is the back skirts. Let's iron out everything. So you have to iron the darts so it will relax. iron the nuts, like to relax, everything will relax. Please always make sure you iron your clothes while you're sewing. It actually help your dress to look very smooth and lovely. So you have to iron everything down. And this is the lining, the back of the lining. And that's now this is the zip area. Open up the zip area. This has to be 1 inch. You have to measure it. Don't just guess. Make sure you measure it. Iron it down. The same thing this side. Turn it the other side and get a smoother back. Now this is the back side. After you are done ironing it, what you will do, you fold into 2. Fold into 2. Then so take note of, remember your knee area. Your knee is actually 20 inches. So we're going to take it up by 4, and then we mark it, that's 16. Then we are going to cut this place open so that by the time you fix it to the back of the skirt, you'll be able to move your legs. So you see what I'm doing? Make a little curve here. So this is just to match with the overlapping at the back. So you're going to cut here open. Cut it open. So this is what you have, and because of this I have to find a way of also trimming this one. So you have an opening here, so to make it neater, just put a cuff. So this is what I have here, and I have an opening, a wide opening, so that by the time your overlapping is opening, you're not going to see this line, and this line is going to separate. It will be, fixed with the back side. So this is the back, this is the front. Let's just iron the darts that we sewed on the lining to make it smoother. So now that I've done this, I'll go back to the machine. Okay, this is the opening we just opened. I'm going to use this bias to pipe the mouth just to make it neater. I'm going to pipe the mouth of it. Before then, I'm going to try to stitch this down so I'll be able to incorporate it into the bias lining. So before then, let's try stitching this down. Since I cut it open, it's going to start getting loosened up. So I have to tighten it up. So let's stitch here up. Let's try to see the quantity we might be needing, so I'll cut it out. So when you're fixing your bias, just look at the place that looks smaller. This looks smaller. Try to stitch it from inside. So you do your finishing touch outside. So beside the line, also on the line, beside the line, so that you'll be able to turn it over and get the line showing at the other side. I'm sewing from the inside and I'll sew it out. After you have sewn this, just turn it over to cover the front. See it? Get a more neater finishing. So, did you see what I have here? So neat. This is so lovely right now. We're gonna now try to fix this at the back of the neck skirt. Oh, I'm so excited right now. My skirt is coming out so beautiful. So this is the back skirt. And this is the lining. Now you're going to use the back face to face the back face. See what I did? And I'm going to sew, I'm going to join it just at the zip area. The two zip area will be kissing each other. So this is going to kiss this way. This is going to kiss this. I will sew it from inside. I'll make sure that my presser foot, this edge, touches the zip area as much as you can do. I will sew until I cross where I opened my zip, and this is this place. I'm going to cross it like, let's say, 1 inch. You can see this area. This is where I actually opened my zip. I'm going to cross it by just 1 inch. When I cross it, I will stop. Now I've sewn one side, I'm going to sew the other side too. I'm going to sew the other side too. So I made the two zip area to kiss each other. Keep them. Once I cross where I open the zip, I will stop. So this is what I have here. Just look at this. Look at it. Can see the overlapping area. Can see it. Can see, and you can see this place. Everything is working out fine. So what do I do now? I'll pick the lining. This is the back, the front lining. So I'll make, this is the front. I'll make the front to go and meet this one, because this is now the front of this lining. I'll go and meet it and hold them together like this. The lining alone, the two lining together. Then I'll sew 1 inch, because that's the exact measurement I added for my seam allowance. 1 inch. Make sure you mark your 1 inch. Always remember to mark, please, because as a beginner you just have to mark. You have to mark it 1 inch. If not, you'll be making a lot of mistakes. Mark your 1 inch and follow your what you mark. While you are sewing, try to look at the down. If one is getting longer, turn it upside down so that you won't end up cutting out something from your fabric. I can see the one up is already getting longer, so I have to go downwards. These are some of the challenges you'll be facing using your machine. And some of you as a beginner, you wouldn't know what to do. You want to sew and cut off your fabric. It's going to affect the measurements, and it will also affect the shape if you do that. So try as much as you can to flip up the other side and finish up. You see it's not getting equal, you can lose what you have sewn so far. As a matter of fact, before you start sewing, you can actually look at the one that is longer. So you can now sew the one that is shorter, you keep the one shorter up. So you can actually check which one is longer. You can see this one is shorter. So I'll be safe sewing, placing this shorter one up. So at the end of the day, both of them will be equal. I've joined the two linings together. Now my final one is to join the skirts, the main fabric together. So what do I do? This is the back zip, this is the front of the back, and I'm going to make the front to meet this front. And I'll sew. So my 1 inch down. This is it. Join the other side. This upside is getting longer. I have to turn it upside down. So that I'll make sure they are equal. At this point, before join it. So this is it, and I've joined the two skirts, the two fabric, and I've joined the two lining. And I want to fix my label. I would like to fix my label on the fabric, Deritzystitch. XL size. So So let's go over to the table and iron out what we have sewn. Always make sure you iron out your clothes. That's the only way you get a good finish. I'm going to iron the skirt now. I'm going to iron all that I've sewn so that everything will be smooth. So I'm going to open and iron. Open all these places I've sewn. Open the lining too. Then you turn the front face to get it more relaxed. You have to open up where you sewed. The same thing. So as you can see, the lining, the only place this lining joined this blouse is the zip side, just the zip side, see, just the zip side, and it's going to also join it on the waist. That's the only place it's going to join. I'm going to join the bit of that together. So we're going to go and on the waist we're going to join the lining. We're going to join it on the waist area with the main fabric. So I'm going to join the lining and the main fabric on the waist area. Just going to tack both of them down to enable me fix the band easily. So you make sure that all the points meets. The darts meets with these darts. The dart on the lining meets with the darts on the back. So you know this lining is actually longer than this thing. I did it on purpose so that it won't shrink. In case it shrinks, it won't drag your fabric. So you are free to plait along the waist area. If you notice it's getting longer, try to meet every point. The dart meets the darts. The side meets the side. If it doesn't meet, you can plait. That's what you do. You plait it so that so I'm done joining the waists with this. So what do I do next? I always like to add a ribbon for hanging the skirts, and the measurement I usually use is 12 inch for each side. 12 inch just to enable you to hang your skirts if you want to hang it. So at this point, just fix it by the side. Pack it down. The other edge. So the two edge now has this. Then I will need to go and cut the band. We're almost done. But before I cut the band, I have to measure my waist to know what I have. And measure, and this is the way you measure your waist. If you want to cut out your band, you go round, go round. I have 38 and a half here. I have 38 and a half. So I'm going to cut out the band of this skirt. I'll add extra 2.5 to the 38 and a half. Let me measure it again and be sure I got it accurately. Okay, I have 39 here. That's what I have, 39. So I will add 2.5 to 39, and I will have that's 41 and half. So that's what I'm going to cut out now for the band of the skirts. So this is your band. You just got a very smooth band. I'm going to go ahead to fix it on the waist of the skirts. So I'm going to fix the band. I'm fixing the band. This is the side that will be inside. I'll just bring out 1/2 inch there. So I'm done with my band. As you can see the band is so nice, so nice. Wow, we're almost done with our skirts. So we're gonna go back to the table again to do the final stitching. And here is your band, so nice. So here is your remember the overlapping. Now we're going to actually gum it with a tacking gum, this, and later we tack it with a needle and thread. So we use this is a tacking gum. It actually gums. You just use it to hold it down. Make sure it doesn't touch your iron. If not, your iron will get sticky and probably burn your dress. So iron it down. see it has gone. So you can later tack it with your. So now I'm going to fold this down 2 inch. I'm going to fold it 2 inch. You can even fold this in so that it will not show. So that means so we're going to fold this. Since we already have that one folded in, and just use 1.5. So I'm going to fix the tacking gun. I'm going to fix it under and gum it, and later on I'm going to tack it with needle and thread for more permanent stay. Because over time, as you wash this fabric, this is going to wear off. So it's better we tack it after this. This will make it easier for you to use your needle and thread without difficulties. This is our skirt. It's ready. It's ready. This skirt, it's so lovely, so beautiful. When you're done, try cutting out all the threads out to make your fabric neater. Just look at your skirts. Look at the skirts. Look at the opening. Look at the opening. And one other thing we're going to do so that this lining won't be showing as the overlapping opens. When you make a good skirt, even the finishing inside is lovely. You should be able to flaunt your, back of your clothes, flaunt it. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that this does not flip out whenever the legs it's thrown open. So I'm gonna fix this with the tacking gums. I'm gonna gum it to this point and gum it to this point. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use this. Then later I'll pack it with needle and thread. Always make sure that your finishing is super, both in and out. So, as you can see, whenever you're walking, you're not gonna see the lining flipping up and down or coming out from the inside. So look at you overlapping, so neat, so neat, and everything is just perfect, perfect. Wow! We've come to the end of the program. I hope you enjoyed the program. I had fun. Even though it's a little bit stressful sewing, but I had fun. I love it when I saw the skirts and it was lovely. That's it for today. I hope you had fun. I had fun. If you know you want to see more of us, just subscribe, share and like, and you will see us always. And we'll bring in every details of how to make clothes. That's why I'm here. And if you know you're confused in any place, drop your comments on the comment section. I'll respond to that. That's it for me today. So, bye.